Hi, good morning. It's my morning. I'm gonna just make a quick video about my hypnobirthing experience. Some of you have been asking, what is hypnobirthing? Tell me about this birth thing that you did, Shantea. And so I was just gonna make a quick video because many of you are asking. This is Mila Joy. Mila is 4 days old now, and so this is all really fresh in what's left of my mom brain cells for hypnobirthing. And so, first, what is hypnobirthing? Hypnobirthing is a way of self hypnotizing or self hypnosis so that you can manage the pain of childbirth. I looked into it because I had two other. This is my third. Vaginal birth, and for me, with the other two, I was induced. I probably will edit this, but you're so cute. Mama's baby girl, Mama's sweet baby girl. Oh, 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 oh. You hungry? Of course you're hungry. As soon as I decided to film, You want to eat? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's stop the video. All right. I'm back. She's fed. She's happy. She's sleeping. You might be asking, why did I look to hypnobirthing? Well, for several reasons, and mostly for me, because I didn't like the pain after childbirth with an epidural. I didn't like that my back was sore. I didn't like that on my first pregnancy or my first labor that I felt a little disconnected to my oldest. Like I didn't feel like I was all there for the actual birth. And then I took some precautions on my second birth, and I asked them to turn the epidural down. I said, I want to be a little more aware and conscious and alive, so can you turn it down? And that's a good alternative if you're looking for just pain management plus a little bit of awareness. But for me, I just wanted to feel it. I wanted to see what childbirth felt like. And I wanted to see if I could do it without losing my brain. I didn't want to be one of those women on TV that is, screaming and cussing everybody out. So I just looked for some alternatives. And hypnobirthing seemed to be like a really good alternative. And so in my experience, hypnobirthing was a series of guided meditations that I would practice at night. There was like affirmations. I'll put the links at the bottom. There's affirmations. One of my favorite affirmations was your body is capable of doing this, of birthing your baby, just as your body is capable of making your baby. And I thought that was really interesting because I had nothing to do with the making of this baby. I was just sitting there doing whatever, right? Like I didn't make her foot. And so that made me really think about, well, then I probably could give birth without really thinking about it. Maybe I'm overdoing this, right? And then I also watched The Business of Being Born. If you haven't watched that, I'll put a link below. That's a really great documentary. It just really opened my eyes about just the power of taking control of your labor and really being in charge. And so that's what I set out to do. And hypnobirthing was a really great tool for me in helping me set out to just take control of my labor so that I felt empowered, I felt calm, and I really, for me, it was important to just bounce back without the extra pain of the epidural spot and waiting for my legs to like return back from numbness. And I'm not somebody who likes being under a lot of medication anyway. And so having an epidural was sort of counterproductive for what my normal lifestyle is. So how did I do it? So I started about 2 months before the baby was born, and I just started doing some research on YouTube, just like you're doing right now, and I would practice some hypnobirthing CDs, or I guess MP3s now. I'm showing my age a little bit. And so I would just listen to them, listen to the guided meditation, really practice. And the cool thing was, the more I did it, the girl would just talk to you and she would say like, take a deep breath, imagine your birthing time. And, at first it felt real silly, but the more you practice it, the more authentic it started to feel. And the cool thing was, I would find myself dozing off and then waking back up when she would say, you are now back to consciousness. And I'm like, whoa, that was cool. But it really helped me at night when I was having trouble sleeping towards the end of my pregnancy too, because not every CD ended with, you're now waking back to consciousness. So it just really at the end of the day, I thought even if it doesn't work, this is a really great calming technique. This is my fourth baby, or my fourth child, baby, I guess. Not my third labor, fourth baby. We adopted one. And so it was just a really nice wind down for the day. And what mom doesn't need a good wind down for the day, especially a new mom? Even if it's your first, pregnancy can be kind of uncomfortable. And I felt like it was a great technique for helping me wind down at the end of the day. So, that's what hypnobirthing is. There's two brands, Hypnobabies and Hypnobirthing. They're the same. And if you Google just guided meditation, guided labor meditation, you'll find some examples, and I'll put some again in the links below. But it just was really a powerful way for me to take control back of my labor and the whole pregnancy process. And again, the second really powerful thing for me on why I decided to do this was just the postnatal transition. I really did not want to wait for my legs to be not numb. I didn't want to have to deal with that back pain that I felt when I had an epidural, and I didn't want to be unconscious. I felt like with my first, when I had an epidural, it was so high. I had Pitocin as well, and I tried several things because I really didn't want to have an epidural. So I tried, a couple drugs that made me just feel drunk, and one just made me feel tired. And so for me, it was just about, I wanted to be present. I wanted to feel and be aware when the baby came out. And I wanted to have that like joyous moment that most women say that they have if they have a calm natural birth. I wanted to feel that. And so I didn't know if this would be my last baby, and it might be. We don't know yet. But I wanted to not miss out on that experience. And I would recommend it. 100% I would recommend it. Mostly because it was so doable. They talk about in hypnobirthing the pressure waves versus contractions, and I would agree with that. I think when you're in the right mindset, it does feel a lot more like pressure than pain. I know that sounds crazy. And I would also say that for me, visualization and meditation was something important in life anyway. I played basketball in college, and when I was injured, our sports psychologist would tell me to visualize your pain, your healing happening a little faster. And I think that there's science that supports that. And I mean, it's like living by faith, right? I'm a Christian. And so sometimes you just have to like say, God, I trust that you're going to handle this. And I felt like God was going to provide during that labor as well. So, and I guess the last reason why I decided to go for hypnobirthing, it was just for me, really, at the end of the day. It wasn't really about the baby and about the exposure to the drugs for the epidural. I know that sounds selfish, but I'm just being completely honest. It was just about what I wanted to experience and how I wanted to come away from labor and how I wanted to feel after labor. I knew that my kids, my other three, would really need mommy back ASAP. My husband would need mommy back ASAP. And I wanted to be back ASAP and not have to feel like I was forcing it because I wasn't really well enough to be. I wanted to just be well enough to be. And I would say I'm only 3 days out, and I would say I feel great, much, much, much better than I did with when I had an epidural. And I would encourage you that if you're thinking about it, to definitely look into it and go for it. And I'll make another video when Mike gets home about my labor experience, so you can get a little bit more details on that. But that is just a quick overview on what the heck is hypnobirthing. So if you have any questions, comment below. I'm home on maternity leave, so I probably will respond. All right, thanks. Love you guys.